All right. Let's talk a little bit of Warriors. Zach Lowe, I want to start with you. We just heard Ramona talk about this mentality of strength in numbers. What is the most important piece outside of Steph Curry that you're seeing to this Warriors team this year?
I just think it's a continuation of how they finished last season. They have all players now who fit the way they want to play. The thing about the Warriors that's so hard to play is they have a star that's like no other star. Nobody moves around like Steph. We've never had a shooter like Steph, let alone a shooter who moves around like that. Everything flows from that and Draymond Green's passing brilliance. And to make it all work, they need every player on the team to sort of have the feel for when to relocate to the corner, when to cut, when to touch pass, when to give and go. They didn't have that for the first 50 games of last year. Then they found a collection of players that did, and they built upon that in the offseason. Otto Porter plays like that. Bjelica plays like that, and on and on. Juan Toscano-Anderson. Clay's coming back. They just have a team, an identity that is set, that everyone understands, and that's different from the other 29 teams. You play 5 teams on a road trip, you come to Golden State, you got to get ready to play an entirely different style, a style that everyone on that team understands. That's hard to do.
Absolutely. So the Warriors are taking on the Pelicans tonight on ESPN. Legs, you and I have talked off camera a bunch about Jordan Poole. What have you seen from him this season?
Well, I think it's a continuation of the end of last year. He just got a lot of confidence in that situation. So coming in with the work he put in this summer, he expected to have significant impact as a primary scorer for them. And I look at his numbers. The thing that's blown me away, they have 3 wins this year in which Steph Curry really shot the ball horribly. And they win all 3 games because Jordan Poole picks up the slack and averages 24 points a game in that situation. So the depth they now have when they get Klay Thompson back at the guard position and knowing they've got another guy that can put up big numbers on any given night, it takes some of the pressure off of Steph Curry. He looks more comfortable, Jordan Poole, in playing with Steph. Clearly, his confidence is off the charts right now, and he's a guy that wants to make an impact. Some of the things he says, he wants to be great in this league, and that hunger is so important in adding to your game, and he's clearly has done that. They've got themselves quite a player now in Golden State.
Right, and quite some depth that they're starting to build back in Golden State. Richard, you played against some of those strength in numbers teams. Is there anything from the teams you're seeing here in front of us now that reminds you of the teams you played against in those finals runs?
Well, I think they have more adults, and that's something that, was kind of a joke going around, is that when they had Wiseman, when they had Toscano, when they had Jordan Poole, all of these young players, they had to learn how to play that brand of basketball that complemented Steph Curry. And you saw the beginning of the year, they focused so much on, let's get these guys experiences, and then all of a sudden, once some of those guys got hurt, mainly Wiseman, they're like, all right, we're going back to Team Steph, and Steph put up an MVP quality second half of the season. So I think now they're like, okay, forget this. This is about, we're going to maximize Steph. Let's get these guys time and experience. You bring in Otto Porter, you bring back Andre Iguodala. Now all of a sudden you start to see that veteran presence that understand movement basketball, and it's taken their team to another level.
Absolutely, and Draymond Green told me just the other day that this team, in their spirit, it kind of reminds them of that 2015 Warriors team. So we'll see. They have an interesting schedule coming up. Perhaps they can keep it rolling. All right, coming up on NBA Today, it's America's favorite segment, or at least my favorite segment. It's Chop It or Drop It. Are the Jazz the best team in the NBA? Keep it locked. We have a developing story in the NBA today after the 76ers had agreed to stop fining Ben Simmons when he told the team on October 22nd that he was mentally not ready to play. The team has resumed fining the 3-time All-Star today. Adrian Wojnarowski reported that the team fined Simmons for missing Thursday's game and will continue to fine him until he cooperates with the team doctors on his mental health and fulfills other basketball obligations. So now we're welcoming in senior writer Zach Lowe. Zach, you wrote your 10 things you like, you don't like column, and one thing that was in there was Point Embiid. What you got?
I love Joel Embiid. Without Ben Simmons, he's got to do more distributing, and without Ben Simmons, he has more shooting around him. So there's been a lot of Joel Embiid posting up, sure, just like normal, but there's also been a lot of Joel Embiid at the free throw line, at the elbow, even in the low post, holding the ball up and then just waving people around like an orchestra conductor. Go here, go there, acting almost as if there he is. Point there, you go there, you go there. And the thing about Embiid is he's so smart. He's not just talking about the first cut. Like if the first cutter that he's waving to gets open, that's great. He'll just hit him for a layup. He's thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead. You cut here, the defense will go there, a corner shooter will get open. He's reading multiple layers of defense at the same time and basically directing traffic like an oversized point guard, and he's finding his guys for easy baskets. This is a guy who's been turnover prone in his career. This year he's at 5 assists a game. That's a career high. That's a lot for a center. His turnovers are at a career low. And his one key ingredient, look, Seth Curry's been unbelievable. He's shooting 70% on twos. Forget the threes. That's ridiculous. Everyone on the team is making shots. Embiid is the only one who's not. He's shooting 41%. For him, that's terrible. For a center, that's terrible. But he's compensating with his usual incredible defense. I mean, forget it. If you're trying to lay it up around him and you hear his footsteps coming, just throw the ball backward and get out of the way. And this passing, it's been really fun to watch.
I just love the music that was kind of playing in the background the entire time. I can't play violin, but that was my impression of it. We're going to welcome back in Legs and RJ and Zach. Are you ready? Because let's play a little game. Let's play one of our new segments. We're calling it Chop It or Drop It. So I'm going to give you guys some topics, and if you want to discuss it, we're going to chop it up. And if you're not interested, we're going to drop it and move right along. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, roll.
All right, first up, the Utah Jazz beat the Atlanta Hawks with no Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. Utah is first in the league at 7-1. Chop it or drop it, Richard.
I say we chop it up. There we go. Let's chop it up because I want to give a little bit of love to Jordan Clarkson. And the reason why I want to give him love is because he really struggled the last 2 games. He didn't play well. He had an 0 for 18 stretch from 3. How did he follow up? He goes on the road against an Atlanta team that a lot of people are favoring to do big things. He gives you a 30 ball without Donovan Mitchell. Hear that, Lakers? Sometimes when your star is out, people have to step up. So I want to give a little bit of love to my guy.
Top rope, Tim. We chopping it or dropping it?
I'm chopping it. There's nothing to add to that.
Like a hot potato.
He covered it.
Richard, you already covered it. Zach, you want to cover it more?
Yeah, let's do it. First of all, did Richard say whether they were the best team in the NBA or not? Don't you have to give an answer?
Yes, Zach, give me. What is the answer? Yes or no?
No, they're not the best team in the NBA. They might be the best regular season team in the NBA right now. That's because half the Bucks are hurt. One Nets superstar is out. A Denver superstar is out. A Clippers superstar is out. The Jazz are awesome. Are they the best team? I'm not ready to go there.
Well, they've been the best team. We've seen that happen before. All right, let's keep it pushing then. So next, Seth Curry is shooting 61% from the field, 53% from 3, and averaging almost 18 a game. The best career numbers from Seth, all while in Philly. And it's sitting pretty at the top of the East. So are we going to chop it or drop it, Richard?
Drop it. And there's nothing else that can be said. Good job for Steph Curry.
All right, Legs.
Oh, no way. I'm chopping that up.
All right, let's do it.
We're talking about shooting, and here's why it's so important what he's doing right now. Look, the problem with the Sixers for the last couple of years has been late game possessions, getting quality possessions, getting quality looks. Seth Curry is now a viable option to put into a 2-man game and create offense for himself. He had a game winner a few days ago, and the way he's shooting the ball right now, the confidence he's playing with, it gives them an answer in tight games, which has been, without question, their Achilles heel for the last 3 years.
All right, Zach, I heard peeps, so are we chopping it or dropping it?
Let's chop it, and let's for a second just realize that Daryl Morey, in one of his first acts as Sixers president or GM or whatever the heck his title is, traded Josh Richardson for Seth Curry and 2 second-round picks, I think. Where would the Sixers be without that trade? Think about how impactful a little trade like that ends up being. He's averaging 18 a game. They'd be dead in the water without him and without Ben Simmons right now.
There you go. So next, the Raptors are officially back in the Six this season and are winners of their last 5 games, all without starter Pascal Siakam. So are we chopping it or dropping it, Tim?
I'm chopping this up because here's why. The Toronto Raptors a year ago kind of just disappeared. We stopped talking about them. And now they're reminding you mainly of this. Nick Nurse, one of the best coaches in the NBA. And last year we weren't talking about this team whatsoever. They had relocated. They had a lot of issues going, a lot of injuries dealing with. I think a lot of people thought maybe the Raptors being relevant in the East, like that had passed us by. And I'm not saying this team's going to the finals or the conference finals, but they are definitely a relevant team once again in the East. And they've got a big one this weekend with Brooklyn, which would be a great barometer game to see exactly where Toronto is.
Okay. All right. So, Richard?
I'm going to say drop it. There's not much more you can say after what Tim just said. Good job, Timothy.
Yeah, thank you.
Zach?
Chop it. Don't drop
Zach is just chopping everything today.
Look, they are a pain to play against, just a ferocious defensive team, a bunch of big wing-type guys who can switch everything. Fred VanVleet, a lot of minutes for Fred VanVleet. He played 43 the other night. That's something to watch. Kem Burge off the bench has been huge. Scotty Barnes might be the favorite for Rookie of the Year right now. They are just no picnic to play against. And like you said, they haven't got Pascal Siakam back. OG Anunoby looks like he's making a leap. People should watch the Raptors. They're fun to watch.
Let's take a look at our fuel for our future Chop It or Drop It's, because next week's NBA Wednesday doubleheader features the top 2 picks in the 2021 NBA draft going head to head. That is Cade Cunningham and the Pistons taking on Jalen Green and the Rockets. And then we'll take you to Staples Center for Jimmy Butler and the East leading Heat taking on LeBron, AD, Russell Westbrook, and the Lakers. I'll be on that game on the sidelines. Our coverage starts with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. Coming up next, the Bucks and the Knicks go toe-to-toe tonight on ESPN. We break down how the Knicks can slow down Giannis. Stay tuned.